milestones of the century. This was the world of Washington Irving, painted more than a century ago. Just north of New York City lies the Hudson River Valley that Irving wrote about and immortalized. 100 years have wrought little change upon the valley's face. The lore that Irving so imaginatively wove into his tales still cloaks the river, as it did so long ago. A drowsy, dreamy repose seems to hang over the Hudson, water licking wistfully at the banks of the coves which indent her shores. Not far away, in a peaceful little cemetery in the Sleepy Hollow he had made famous, a weather-beaten tombstone marks the grave of Washington Irving. A windmill turns in the tranquil countryside, a reminder of the old Dutch settlers whose twilight superstitions, told and retold around the family hearth, were the inspiration for Irving's most captivating stories. In the heart of this rustic region, Irving's home, Sunnyside, is preserved as a shrine. Along with the hundreds of books that line its study, Sunnyside contains more than 1,000 of Irving's own belongings, including the desk at which he worked and the pen with which he wrote. His portrait hangs in the parlor. Nearing 50, he became world famous for the legend of Sleepy Hollow, contained in his famed sketchbook. From this edition by Heritage Press, we again see the old tale brought to life. How in the quiet Hudson Valley, the tall, exceedingly lank schoolteacher Ichabod Crane, in love with a pretty maiden, was hilariously tricked into losing her. How he was run out of circulation by his rival, masquerading as a headless horseman. In Irving's own words, Ichabod's terror rose to desperation. Today, a sign marks the site of the Headless Horseman Bridge that Irving immortalized in his Legend of Sleepy Hollow. A concrete structure has replaced the original span across the brook, upon whose banks were found the hat of the unfortunate Ichabod, and close behind, a shattered pumpkin. Ichabod was to vanish forever from Sleepy Hollow. His rival, who shortly after Ichabod's disappearance conducted the maiden to the altar, was to look exceedingly knowing whenever the story was related. Though only a legend, the story of the Headless Horseman seems somehow true, to endure as timeless and changeless as the spell of Sleepy Hollow. Sunnyside will survive too, for as the home of America's first great author, it is the shrine of Washington Irving's legacy, enduring among the milestones of the century.